everybody, Matt Maran here, and today I'm at the WAPA Rally. It's a yearly thing they do where you have a car for about 20 minutes or so, you go for a quick drive and come back. And so there's a lot of really sweet cars here today. The first one I'm driving though is one many of you have been requesting a review on, the Genesis G70. This is my first time driving one, and this is the 3.3T model with all-wheel drive. This is the Prestige trim, and so that's why you have, you know, some of the more bright work on the outside there, the chrome door handles, all that type of stuff. And I really love the looks of the G70. I think it's a really nice looking, small, compact luxury sedan. You know, it's a little smaller than the Stinger, which it shares a platform with. I think the actual wheelbase is also an inch or two shorter as well. And so it makes it all feel a little more compact from, you know, as far as the exterior goes, but also as far as the interior. It seems just a tiny bit smaller in here, I think, than what you get in the Stinger, of course. And the Stinger has a nice long hatchback as well, which you don't get here with just a typical trunk. But that smaller and shorter wheelbase should make it feel even a little sportier. It's a little lighter than the Stinger. The first thing I'm noticing here about the G70 on a normal country road here is that it's a nice smooth ride. You know, these roads definitely aren't perfect, but it's nicely soaking it up. I believe these higher Genesis have the adaptive suspension. Again, we're in and out of cars a lot all throughout the day, so I don't have time to get all the details and specifics. I will hopefully be getting one of these for a week to do a full review on one. But just first impressions here, it does have a very nice smooth ride. Another thing that I'm noticing here is the steering has a nice, precise, and quick steering rack actually too. It feels pretty quick. Not as quick as the Alfa Romeo Giulia or anything like that, but does feel nice and sporty and feels like it's very eager to change direction. One thing that I am a little disappointed by is the brake pedal. There's a lot of travel before you start getting into the actual braking. Now some people prefer that because it means you can be a little rougher with your brake inputs, but I personally wish it was a little more responsive because it just seems a little spongy and a little dead to me. Throttle response though is nice and sharp. That's one thing that I am appreciating here right away. And we do have some really good corners around here. Unfortunately, it has rained recently and the roads are a little damp and slick, so I'm not able to push it as much as I would like. Again, that'll have to wait for the full review. But I can say, you know, from the few corners I'm going around here just in comfort mode so far, that it does feel really nice and light. That's the thing that I think really stands out to me, is just how light it feels. But I put it into sport mode, and let's do a quick little acceleration here and just see how it does. Sounds good. Has a really nice sound to it too. It's similar to the Stinger, but it has a little bit of different pitch from what I remember in the Stinger that I had a couple of months ago. But feels really good here. Another thing also whenever you're in sport mode is throttle response gets even sharper. I think you have a little more weight through the steering. It's not drastic if it has changed, but just very slight there. And then again, if it has those adaptive dampers, I think it firms those up as well. And it feels good. So these have the 3.3 liter twin turbo V6 engine. It does 365 horsepower, 376 pound-feet of torque. It all runs through an 8-speed automatic transmission that's built in-house by Kia and Hyundai. They share it, and like I said, it's also in the Stinger. And it'll do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds here for the fastest version of the Genesis G70, which is really, really impressive. And I can just sample a little bit of this handling here on these roads. I wish I could push it more, but these roads are just so slick. But I can just already sense that it seems like it'll handle very, very well. And of course, the reviews have been phenomenal for the G70. Everyone's been very, very impressed by how it drives. Another really cool thing that I didn't even notice until I put it back into the comfort mode is that whenever you go into sport, it actually gets the bolstering tighter around your torso. And I'm sure you can customize that however you like. But that is so cool that it does that based on drive mode, because that is really ingenious. And I don't think I remember any other car ever offering that before, where it's you know, nice and relaxed with the seats whenever you're in normal mode, and just the flip of the switch there, instead of having to press another button here to change the seats, it just does it automatically. That's brilliant. So it's the small things, but you know, little things like that really set it apart. The interior of the G70 is just such a nice place to be too whenever you're just cruising down the road. I mean, to have all this, I mean, the quilted leather is awesome, the metal everywhere, the metal door handles, metal trim, I mean, around all the like climate control vents and things like that all have metal. There's metal all around the shifter area. It all just feels very premium. All the touch points are all very soft as well. You have nice padding down by your knee area here. The top of the dash is padded. I mean, every square inch of this thing feels really nice, and I really appreciate that. Another thing, you have a great steering wheel here, an awesome 9-3 grip, and has nice, I think they're plastic, but they feel really close to metal paddle shifters here on the back of the wheel. But we can put it over into the manual mode here. Okay, so there actually isn't a dedicated manual mode on the shifter, so you just start pulling paddles and let it do its thing. And it's pretty quick. The paddles feel really good when you use them, and the shifts are pretty responsive. Still not quite ZF8 speed fast, but still very, very quick, and right up there as one of the best outside of the ZF8 speed, I think. So no complaints there as far as shift times and stuff. I think it does a really good job of being sporty and fun whenever you want it to be. And then again, you just put it back into the comfort mode here, go out of the manual mode just by holding the upshift paddle, and then it calms down, becomes a really nice luxury sedan again. So yeah, really like everything in this interior. It's just such a nice place to spend time. Yeah, it just feels really good. And this all-wheel drive, I can tell it's really helping with the grip on this road since it's a little slick. It really does a good job of putting the power down even whenever the conditions aren't ideal. But it really does feel so small and compact going down the road as well. I love how it's very easy to drive. You have great visibility, nice thin A-pillars. A-pillars that are so thin, I mean, I haven't seen A-pillars that thin since probably 10 years ago or something. Really impressive there. Nice large side windows. The door sills don't come up too high. View out of the back is great. And so just very easy to drive, very compact, very friendly, and I really am enjoying it. But anyway, so yeah, that's about all I can glean from the Genesis G70 here so far from this short little drive. But overall, I'm impressed, and I look forward to hopefully having this vehicle for an entire week sometime in the next couple of months, and telling you guys more about it then. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching this quick drive, and there'll be many more of these to come throughout the course of the next couple of weeks. Thank you guys very much for watching, though, and I'll see you next time. Take care.